Thank you, Your Honor. My name's Uhuru Kenyatta.
President Uhuru Kenyatta, through his legal team, has already challenged prosecutor Fatou Bensouda to withdraw the 5 counts of crimes against humanity charges that he faces at the International Criminal Court. This after Bensouda sought more time to beef up her evidence against Kenyatta following the withdrawal of our key witnesses. The president, through his lead lawyer Stephen K, has in an application to the trial chamber presided by Judge Kuniko Ozaki argued that Bensouda had no sufficient evidence to prove her case against him and should be asked to withdraw the charges. But Bensouda in her response has termed Kenyatta's application premature and urged the trial chamber to dismiss it. She insists that before the trial chamber can consider the possibility of withdrawing charges against Kenyatta, it should first rule on her application that the Kenyan government that Kenyatta leads had failed to comply with its obligations under the Rome Statute. She claims that the Jubilee government had frustrated the prosecution's efforts to get crucial information to prove its case against the president, and that if the trial chamber would force the prosecution to withdraw its charges, it would be clearly rewarding an obstructive government and send a message to other states that they can frustrate the court without any fears of sanctions. Bensouda claims that though Kenyatta was facing charges at the ICC as an individual, he was using his position as the head of state to frustrate the prosecution's efforts to acquire crucial information that could beef up its evidence against him. She warns that withdrawing the charges that Kenyatta faces at The Hague would be like rewarding him, yet he was supposed to ensure that his government complies with its treaty obligations.
Before anything,
the prosecutor cites our office's request to the Kenyan government in April 2012, seeking to obtain crucial financial statements and other information on Kenyatta's transactions to prove its claim that Kenyatta had funded retaliation attacks against perceived ODM supporters in Naivasha and Nakuru during the 2007-2008 skirmishes. But almost 2 years later, she insists that she was yet to receive the requested information and claims that Kenyatta had used his positions in the Kibaki administration and later as president to frustrate the prosecution.
The point that the prosecution is not ready now.
The trial chamber will rule whether it will grant the prosecutor more time to beef up her evidence against the president or ask her to withdraw the charges as requested by Kenyatta.
And I would like to welcome parties and participants.
In the meantime, the trial chamber presided by Judge Kuniko Ozaki has outlined the agenda for Wednesday's status conference in Kenyatta's case. The prosecutor will be required to update the parties in the case on the additional investigative steps she has initiated against the president after her key witnesses recanted their evidence. Bensouda's request for an adjournment of the provisional trial date will also be discussed. Kenyatta's trial was scheduled to kick off on Wednesday but has been postponed indefinitely until the trial chamber sets a new date. During the Wednesday session that will bring together the trial chamber, the prosecution, the defense and the representatives of the victims, time will be allocated for discussion on Kenyatta's application for the termination of his charges. The status conference will be held in open court and President Kenyatta is not required to attend the session in person.
The fact of the matter is Kenya won.
The head of state will be represented by his legal team led by Queen's Counsel Stephen K. Francis Gachuri, Monday Special.